All right, welcome back to Sorare Edge, everybody. We've got a stacked show today. I'm going to get right into it, and let's roll through these tiers of L10s. Get you ready for game week 37. Starting at the bottom, we're going to have a couple of threes to discuss today. Orlando Robinson, we talked about last video. He only put up 8 points, so a little disappointing. If Kevin Love's still out, he's still an option for you at a 3 in an underdog. The guy like a little bit better is Omer Yurtseven in Utah. Both Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler have already been ruled out for tonight's game. Yurtseven's just a 3L10. I would put his high-end estimate in the low 20s. I think he's going to get some time, probably at least like 15 minutes. 2 games for Utah too, so if those other 2 guys remain out, he gets a couple of chances at it. Going to be a lot of Taylor Hendricks and a lot of Yurtseven tonight, I think, in Utah. At a 4, we have Bryce Sensabaugh, another guy in Utah, 0.49 points per minute. So this guy's a rookie. He's been really unproductive. This is one of the worst points per minute in the league, but he is getting about 23 minutes right now every game. L10's just 4. I put his high-end upside about 15 points, which is really bad, but 2 games again for Utah, so maybe it gets hot. LA has dusted off Bones Highland with Russell Westbrook breaking his wrist over the weekend. Bones Highland's still just a 5 L10 because he hasn't played in months. This is a guy who we've seen get hot before, though. He likes to shoot it. We'll see how he fits with Paul George and James Harden. This is still a guy that can put you up some points. I've got his top end here about 19, the way he's been playing so far this year, and 2 cracks for the Clippers. Be afraid to get Bones in there. Craig Porter, a highlight just because I really like this guy. He's 0.98 points a minute. He just doesn't get a chance to play very often. Both Donovan Mitchell and Karis LeVert have been out the last 2 games. That continues. Porter's at least seeing some time on the floor. If he can get his minutes up to closer to 20, I really like him. 16 for a high end. He's just a 6. Risky play, though. If Mitchell and LeVert come back, he probably goes right back to the bench. At 8, we talked about Davis Bertans last week, and he definitely came through for you. He was a $1 pickup. 8 L10 now, up from 6, but he had a nice game for you over the weekend if you stuck him in there. Only 1 game for Charlotte. They do have some guys that could come back. You may see his minutes drop a little bit, but he's been good and he's still cheap. Saben Lee in Phoenix. Now Devin Booker is going to be out for a couple weeks, it looks like. Saben Lee's been starting to get some minutes. Here's another guy who's pretty productive, 1 point per minute. 8 L10, just not getting a lot of minutes though. I project him about 12. That puts him in the 20 range, so he's playable at an 8. So Lester Quinones in Golden State's been getting some more minutes. 23 is what I'm projecting him at. He's a 9. That puts him in the mid-20s probably. I like that play. If Wiggins and Podziemski remain away from the team and out, Quinones is a nice play this week. 2 games for Golden State. And Kobe Buffkin in Atlanta has been getting some more minutes. 0.89 a minute. He's a pretty productive player for a rookie. 9 L10. Put him in the mid-20s as well. If he gets more minutes, which could certainly happen, I would think he's capable of more. 2 games for the Hawks. Looking at the microcap pricing, Saben Lee and Davis Bertans still in the very affordable range, around $2 or less. Porter really $320. He's a rookie, so if he does start to play, his cards will go higher, just not as many floating around. Quinones, $425, and then everybody else, we're already going up. Yurtseven is already spiked from his $1 cards that you could have had probably a week ago to about $5 now. And Buffkin, same thing with Porter. If he does start playing and playing well, I think this $588 is going to be a pretty good price for him just because he's a rookie. A lot of lower mid caps today, so I'm going to try to do this quickly for you. Sam Merrill is playing because Donovan Mitchell and Karis LeVert are both out. He's played an average of 27 minutes the last 2 nights. He's done pretty well. I've got his high end. I mean, he can get you all the way up to almost 40, and he's an 11. Will he get 27 minutes? Will Mitchell and LeVert be back? Big risk here. 2 games for Cleveland, but if they're both back, he usually plays in that 5 to 10 minute range, if at all. Be very careful there. Jovic has been playing with Kevin Love out. He starts sometimes. He's averaging about 20 minutes. He can get you 30 at an 11. We'll see if Love comes back, if he remains in the rotation or not. Another one that's a pretty decent risk. Here's one I actually like. Delano Banton had a big game over the weekend. I think he put up over 40 rare points. And Portland is going to be without Jeremy Grant probably tonight. Brogdon's still out. Scoot Henderson out. Shaden Sharp out. They are just really banged up. Banton is a 6'9" guard, so he can play a lot of different positions. He can guard a lot of different players. I think he plays a decent amount tonight. I've got him 16 minutes, but I think that's a low-end estimate. He could certainly get more than that. You saw what he could do over the weekend. He's done it once. I got his top end in the low 20s, but I think he could certainly get higher than that. 2 games for Portland, too, so if all those players remain out for the next couple games, he could be a good play going forward. He's only an 11, L10. Jordan Goodwin, we talked about last week. He's up to a 12. He's playing a lot for Memphis just because they are in a similar situation to Portland. They don't have anybody healthy. Top end for him, high 30s. 2 games for Memphis. Moses Moody, Golden State, been getting a lot more minutes lately. I've got him pegged for about 28. 12 L10, he can get you in the mid-30s. This is another nice play. 22.51 difference between the top end and the L10 score. Mo Bamba's been starting in Philly, but still not playing a ton of minutes, usually like 17, 18 minutes, which is good enough for him to be fairly productive some nights. Can get you close to 30, I think. 2 games for Philly. Chris Murray in Portland, same thing with him. He's been playing in the 30s in minutes. He's a rookie, so his cards are more expensive, but 13 L10, if he can get you 30 points, that's a pretty good play. Nick Batum in Philly is coming back and finally ramping up his minutes a little bit, averaging about 26. That's about where I expect him to play. At a 13 L10, he's definitely playable. I think he can get you in the high 20s, and he's always cheap. Kyle Lowry, same deal in Philly. Been playing more minutes. Cam Payne has an illness, so he missed last game. Lowry's been playing close to 30, though, so if he can play that many minutes, I think he's a great play at a 14. He can get you in the low 30s. Taylor Hendricks, we talked about a little bit when we were talking about Yurt 7. I think he's going to play a lot tonight. I've got him 30 minutes. 15 L10. He can get you in the mid-30s, I think. 2 games for Utah. Jabari Walker, another Portland Trailblazer. You can take advantage of all these injuries. If he can get 25 minutes, he can get you into the 30s. 2 games for Portland. Spencer Dinwiddie has not looked good in LA since signing with them, but he's all the way down to a 15 L10, 2 games for the Lakers. I've got him at about 20 minutes. That seems to be about what he's playing for them. He's definitely a regular rotation piece, but just not productive since he's joined the Lakers. His points per minute has really gone down, but I think he's still capable. If he can get hot, he can get you in that 30 range for a top-end outcome. Talen Horton-Tucker in Utah, another guy taking advantage of injuries. I think he plays a decent amount tonight. He's kind of been out of the rotation lately. I think, if he can get high teens minutes, he'll get you 30 sometimes. 2 games for Utah. And here's the wild card play. So Jalen Brunson hurt his knee. First minute of the game last night, Miles McBride came in, played 47 minutes as his replacement. What that tells me is they don't trust anybody else to handle the ball. So at a 40-minute estimate, which is where I'm putting him because New York plays all their guys huge minutes, especially right now. With a 19 L10, I think you could see a score in the 40s. They only have 1 game. And the reason I like this is because I think they give Brunson the Tuesday game off because they have this light week. So they give him a couple extra days to get healthy. And I think McBride starts and plays big minutes. So yeah, you're looking at a floor of probably over what his L10 score is. And those are always good plays. Of course, if Brunson comes back, he could play 20 minutes and get half this. But I think it's worth the shot here at a 19. Only the 1 game, but you got to take risks if you want to win sometimes. Dennis Schroeder in Brooklyn. He's been starting for them, playing about 30 minutes. Everybody in Brooklyn's playing terribly. He could get you in the high 30s. Kevin Huerter in Sacramento's all the way down to a 20. He usually gets somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes. You can always get hot. L10's in a range where he's very playable. That top end, again, in the high 30s. And let's look at some pricing for this group. Banton's still really cheap. I would definitely take a chance on him at an 11. THT, 242. So you got some deals here. Dinwiddie's getting really cheap. Jovic, I talk about a lot. I really like him. I like his future upside. He's only 20 years old. Good guy to have in your gallery. Batum up to 281, so some people are buying into him. Don't think it's a bad idea. You can get that McBride for under $4. It could be your meal ticket this week. Everybody else, we're up over 4. Rolling into the 20s here, Keldon Johnson at 21. I think this is just a really low number for him. He's been playing around 30 minutes. That puts his top end projection about double his L10, which is kind of what we're looking for. 42.9 for a top end on him. At 22, you have Santi Aldama down from 26. He hasn't been playing all that well, but I still think he's capable of 40s. He is an L10 of 22 with 2 games. Banged up Memphis. He should get a lot of offensive opportunities if he wants them. Kelly Olynyk's been playing a little more since Scotty Barnes went down last couple games in that 27, 28 minute range. That puts him at a high-end estimate of about 38. And at 22, that's very playable. Duncan Robinson in Miami, obviously with their injuries, he's been playing big minutes. He's in the mid-30s. 23 L10. I'd put him in the low 40s. 2 games for Miami. Keegan Murray, if you bought one of his last week, you can still play him. He's at 25. De'Aaron Fox may or may not come back. If he does or if he doesn't, it doesn't really matter. Keegan Murray's minutes are pretty safe at about 35. And with 3 games, you got a bunch of cracks at it here. Same with Nick Claxton, 3 games for Brooklyn. He went all the way down from 31 to 25 for an L10 this week, so a big drop. He has 3 chances at it. and I would put him in the mid-40s. Good play at 25. Sir Thompson in Detroit's been getting a lot of minutes again lately. Just watch those Monty Williams rotations, figure out who's going to be in there. He's an L10 of 26. I put him in the mid-40s sometimes. 2 games for Detroit. Grayson Allen in Phoenix with Devin Booker now out for a while. Should have some more offensive opportunities. He's a 27 L10. I think he can get you 40. 2 games for Phoenix. This one's interesting. Another big dropper this week was Fred VanVleet in Houston. He actually had a decent game over the weekend. First one in a while, but he's certainly capable of big things once in a while. 39 minutes. The minutes are really safe for him. He's going to play almost the whole game. 2 games for Houston. His top end's going to be over 50, and at a 29, that's a good play. Darius Garland, we've been playing him every week for the last couple. He is a 30 L10 now, so it's on the rise. Top end near 50 though, and with Mitchell out, he certainly takes on more of the offensive workload. We'll see if Mitchell comes back. 2 games for Cleveland. I think you certainly do worse than Aldama at a 22, 354. Keldon at 444. And then once you get past Olynyk, it gets a little more expensive. Kind of doubles here. So everybody's budget's a little different. Do what you need to do, but these guys should be competitive this week for you. Quickly going through my blue chip plays, 31 plus. Cal Bridges is all the way down to 31. I think he's a nice play. 3 games this week for Brooklyn. High end, just under 50. Anthony Simons has 2 games. I have him over 50 for a projection, almost 52 at a 32. He's definitely in play. And then nothing that good until we get up to 36. That's Karl Anthony Towns. I have him over 52. 2 games for the Wolves. DiVincenzo, just a 1 game, but just like with Miles McBride, I think he's going to play huge minutes. And when he plays huge minutes, he's certainly capable of games in the 50s, especially if he's the primary scorer, which he is when Brunson is out. 56.1 for projection for DiVincenzo. I think you can get him in at 38. Halliburton hasn't looked like himself. Last couple weeks, he's obviously been in the 30s. He's up to 40. He just does not look right. I'm not sure what's going on. Projection's still in the low 60s. I really like this guy, so I tell you to just keep playing him and hope he figures it out. Something's off. 2 games for Indiana. I don't know how you don't play Halliburton, though, if you have one. Look at Giannis, down to 48, projection over 70, 2 games for the Bucks. He's a game-time decision tonight, questionable, but he's been a game-time decision. He's been questionable pretty much every game, and he's continued to play so far, so assume he plays, and if you have a Giannis, I think you have to play him at a 48. Jokic, 57, good number for him. He's projected mid-70s, 2 games for the Nuggets, and then Luka's your highest projected player at 78.98. He's a 66 and 2 games for the Mavericks. Just quickly, I'm going to sort this by the top plays just to take a quick look here. All right, so Sam Merrill actually comes up with the top difference, very much based on Donovan Mitchell being out, Karis LeVert being out. That could change instantly. Jordan Goodwin, we're assuming he's going to play 30 minutes. I think that's a pretty safe assumption, but you don't really know for sure. Another good play, though, with 2 games. Then you've got McBride. Fred VanVleet comes in 4th. Halliburton 5th. Giannis 6th, Moses Moody 7th, Keldon Johnson 8th, Orlando Robinson with that 3 L10 coming in 9th, and then Davis Bertans coming in 10th. So there are your plays of the week for game week 37. Thank you for watching. Please like the videos, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll have these up for you every game week. Really appreciate all the comments, kind words. I love reading them. Happy to interact with all of you. Please let me know if you have any questions, any players you'd like broken down heading up to the game week. Most likely we will see you tomorrow with a first look at game week 38. Thanks again for watching.